if you're a coach,
Mm-hmm.
a well-established coach,
Yep.
why don't you just coach yourself?
Great question. What's your answer?
It's not how you answer questions. It's an adult. It's not how we do it.
Okay. See, I'm just trying to...
Next job interview I have. Great question. What's your answer though first? Just so I have a gauge of how to answer this.
Okay, my answer is I'm actually doing that right now. After European Championships, there's a lot of changes happening.
Fucking tell us.
There's a lot of changes happening.
Tell us.
And I just told Joey, I'm going to take a little bit of time off program. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it.
I honestly don't have a great answer. Some people who are not well-established coaches in people's mind's eye of like who are the coaches of these big athletes in powerlifting self-coach tremendously. And then a lot of coaches who are well-established could not coach themselves for shit, I know. So what is it that we look for from a coach? I think it's perhaps leads more into, obviously I'm going to say this, but more into like a psychological side, where the programming itself, by default, all coaches are comfortable with handling. So then it's the adjustments you make to programming based on the person's psychology that you cannot do to yourself. The same reason it's very difficult to, say, have a conversation about your emotions with yourself. You can, but it doesn't hit as hard as when I talk to you.
There's there's an overlay of your own like biases and things of that nature. Yeah, that's an interesting one. That's neat because we've kind of touched on this topic a little bit about, say, like your programming and your own training. And I always find it interesting talking to other people about their training because I've found a lot of the conversations you kind of, I don't know, end up being on like a slightly different wavelength when you're talking because you might be missing some of the context of like the underpinnings of someone's training philosophy. So while you're talking about, say, a specific context, there's like fundamental things that are underlying it that you may not be fully aware of. So you might be talking about a specific strategy or intervention or whatever, but it doesn't. I find it hard to have conversations like that sometimes. So I can kind of mainly speak for myself, my own training, which has come through Joey, and then my own like training philosophy and how I've like delivered that to my lifters.
Yeah. Are they both very similar?
It definitely influenced. I would say, Joey's been the biggest influence in it, but then there are ideas and philosophies that I have from myself that I would then experiment with kind of actually on myself within the confines of working with Joey. So like I would have an idea and then I would kind of like experiment with it in my training. And then if I thought that there may be a relevant context where that could work for someone else, I might experiment, say, with one of my like lifters training. And then if I find that it's working, then I might use it in another context and so on. And then from that over the years have just developed like different strategies and philosophies. So it's funny, if you looked at the program that Joey gave me and then look at the program that I give my lifters, it probably looks very different.
Okay.
But I think the underpinning, like the core elements or the core philosophy is probably very largely influenced from Joey. And I'm again, when I have those kind of conversations with other people, I've been working with Joey for so long where like my understanding of training is shaped through that lens of working with him. So a lot of things that just seem like second nature to me or like the way to do it, I would have conversations and there's that like misalignment of what I think is particularly important in training and then maybe what other philosophies bring. But I'd say in general most training philosophies kind of cover the same things.
Surely they have to.
Yeah.
Right? Until Timor's doing like 101 sets of squats. The fuck? Hold on, let's talk about that. I'm not skipping that. Oh my god. Oh my god, for anyone watching.
Man, okay, I think Mark Stell is like photoshopping this live as it's on the screen.
Why is he photoshopping me? And every time you're on, it's like, oh yeah, that is
man,
how
buttery
sexy
and smooth.
Buttery and smooth. No, man, you're a glonky, man.
Oh, shut that. Man, you don't even know what that means, man.
Yeah, well, I do now. So anyway, to go back to even beyond Timor's 101 sets of squats, I don't even buy that shit. He's doing 12.
He's doing 12.
And I've seen that guy. He's not doing 100 sets. I'm saying nobody's doing 100 sets. That's
no, he's doing like 30 by 1, no?
Yeah, man.
Got every minute on the minute.
That's you, man.
Whoa.
They literally call him Imam.
Imami.
Yeah, those conversations with other people can feel gonky.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would assume that predominantly people's training has to be based off the same core philosophies. Like,
Man, do you ever see someone's training though, and you're like, what the fuck?
Where, yeah.
Well, how'd you come up with that one?
You know what it is though? Is like, yeah. Like, are you sure you're doing that? I'm sure I misheard you there. Could you just say that again? Just right this time? No. I think, but surely even then, if their coach was to explain why,
there would be,
it just like maybe they've just taken a few creative liberties with how they write down. But then it gets to the point that
generous.
It's like, I am trying to be generous, so I'm trying to understand. Not like every coach's intent is for the athlete to progress as much as possible, so long as that remains at the core of their programming decisions.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can imagine, as with everything in life, all walks of life, people get like one step beyond the underlying principles and it still looks the same. But when you're like 20 steps, then it looks different to the point that I think when you take so many steps, you can actually veer off the underlying principles. My most recent program by Adam, he recognized that because we were talking a ton about like my reservations regarding like my periods of progress and periods of lack thereof. And he recognized, he kind of did a deep dive into like our old chats, our old conversations during periods where training was going swimmingly when I was younger, etc. And a lot of things have changed. Of course, I've grown older. Our relationship has developed and matured. I've grown as a coach. I've grown in how I view life and our relationship.
Grown your biceps.
Is that just another cue to show people? Man, anybody on Spotify is missing.
Yeah, go to the YouTube video.
Yeah. Man, Andrew said if he was reborn, he'd like to be born into my body.
That's, man, I'll be in your body anyway. Anyway, so moving on, what were you talking about?
I was talking about the fact that Adam recognized that in my training. Adam's my coach for anyone listening that doesn't know Adam. That there are some like core principles and core foundational elements that we both agree upon as coaches and that you'd agree upon, that everyone does. And when you kind of let some things slip, because it's like, okay, well, that's a preference thing and it's justified, so we'll just, okay, we can exclude that, or we'll include that, or we'll write it that way, or you'll do it here in your program. But over the 7 or so years and over my development of biases and preferences, what starts to happen is unless you go back to the basic principles every now and again and discuss them at least, even you don't have to strip your program and just have like squat 2x5, nothing else, you know, not that, but as long as you discuss them, whereas I think we recognize, okay, there could be something going on here where because of my biases and preferences that I've developed over the years, some of them are inhibiting the return of the return to basic principles. So he wrote 2 programs because I was quite frustrated, and he was like, here's what I think I just need to write you as a coach, and here's a program that if you removed all your biases, I'd write you.
Interesting. And which one are you going to run?
I took the no biases.
Interesting. And can I ask?
Yes, you can.
Or maybe it's not even particularly useful of a question, but like what would have been the main differences between those two?
I read them and at the time saw huge differences because I was still so attached to my biases. Whereas now that I've been running it a couple of weeks, it's just like, it just feels like training. Maybe it's with regards to some things like, you know, these 2 things need to be this many days apart because I feel tired after doing X. So I can't possibly do that the day after or 2 days after. Or I can't do, you know, that many sets because my knees are sore and get sore when I do that many sets. So it's like, okay, maybe years ago, my knees were a little bit sore and I said, oh, I don't like to do that after that, or I don't like to do 3 back downs or whatever. So it's like, okay, we won't. Because let's just do it. Let's just roll with 2. But then I've compounded, like, say, 20 of those expressions of preferences to the point where it was like, okay, well, now we can't do anything. Now the only thing we can do is the exact same thing over and over again, and you're getting frustrated with it. So unless you let go of those, you know. So
good observation from Adam.
Very good. So I challenged myself. I've also been talking to Ben for now, right? Before he's like more pronounced in his pursuit of his current endeavor, which is like coaching and coaching psychology. We've been exploring some topics, mainly just like, as of right now, the background of my training and my experiences, and how I feel towards my training, and any negative experiences as well that I've been experiencing, mainly psychologically, in relation to progress or lack thereof that I was saying. And we finished up our last call, and after discussing loads, he was like, "Man, well, you're training tomorrow, right? This is the session I keep pissing you off. I challenge you to just see how much fun you can have in your session." I was like, okay. Like, because I expressed that I don't like to be just chatting willy-nilly when I'm working up to things. Like, you be similar. You're in a zone, and it doesn't mean you have to be dull and gloomy, but it also means that I'm not just chatting and then trying to perform.
Fit in a set, like between.
Between chats and kind of laughing and getting under the bar. It's like, that's cool when the bar's empty. But for me, anyway, I don't like getting under something heavy while I'm currently thinking about something else. And I was like, okay, well, how can I have the most fun while doing all that? I actually had a ton of fun the next session. It didn't piss me off.
How?
I was optimistic. I was less... I appraised how the sets felt less.
Interesting.
I didn't think, oh, that felt really shit. It sounds so simple, and I tried to do this, and I think a few things have to fall in place for me anyway to be capable of doing this, but I just didn't judge the set. I didn't critique the set. I just did the set. Now, of course, that's something I would love to be able to do all the time, and I think when I'm feeling more pessimistic, it's impossible, or at least very difficult. Whereas because I had a little bit more optimism, a little bit more, you know what, I'm a little bit stronger. I was in for a session with you the week prior, and everything just felt ass. You said
I was like, this guy is in the dumps, man. Like, what's going on?
It was ass.
I was like, bro.
Yeah, and that
I think we talked for like not a lot of time in that session.
Like, because it was me trying to be like, no, because like one person was like kind of doing a willy-nilly session. You were very sore. You were sick.
Yeah, I think I squatted 120 for like. No, I didn't even. I squatted 70. I squatted 70 for a set of 5, and then I was like, nah, like my body feels like a creaky gate.
And my brain was like, yeah, you're a creaky gate to me as well. But
yeah, damn, I sabotaged your session.
No,
sorry,
you didn't.
I did.
I just felt ass, and then it's like I couldn't chat either because I was like trying to zone in, but nothing was helping. And I did that same session, and everything was way heavier, and I enjoyed it more. And I was going into sets that I was like, okay, this is 10 kilos heavier, but like I'm not going to fail realistically, and just have fun, and it was enjoyable. So to go back to like the main point of this, which was
no idea.
Maybe we're just exploring my training.
Yeah, explore your training.
Oh, we're exploring coaching yourself.
Oh yeah.
So how did we get here?
No idea. Like. Doesn't matter. Just keep going.
Anyone listening, if you self-coach, please let us know how you find that relative to being coached, why you enjoy it, why you don't.
I think it does take a specific person to self-coach successfully, though. I think it takes a certain amount of time of training, probably. Like one of the things I come back to often is you've got to follow the rules to know when to break the rules.
Yes.
So you've got to have like done things conventionally for a while so that you can know when to deviate from that and when it makes sense to do so.
Agreed.
And yeah, I would say, again, in general, it probably takes like a certain kind of autistic person to be particularly good at self-coaching. If you can try be as objective as possible. It's interesting, as you were saying, like say the biases that you have around training and how that they were starting to like pile up, and then over time you were maybe deviating more and more from if there was like a true north of like what you need to facilitate progress. I don't know if I'm just like dumb, but I feel like I have that like formula for my own training. Like I know exactly what I need to do, and I've just been doing it over and over and over and over and over for the past like however many years. Yeah. And then it got to a stage where I was like, okay, I know what I would need to do to continue making progress. Do I want to continue doing that? And then it was like, no, not really. Okay. Because when we were exploring this for you, like, training's not feeling good, there's XYZ thing that's feeling off. How can I get things back on track? We explored some of the things that I was like, in my mind, it makes sense that if you're just doing this, you will.
What you did, you were just, instead of discussing like minutiae that were like 20 steps away, you just went to like, okay, well, here's basic principles. Are you taking all these?
Yeah.
And I was like, you know? So ideally you strip away the noise.
Yeah.
When in times of doubt,
Man, just
or
strip it all
when
away.
you're feeling lost, you completely strip.
Man, you just take it all off.
So
that was Andrew taking it all off for anyone who's on Spotify.
I need to remember to look at the camera dead on when I'm being serious.
Anyway, right.
So yeah, you when you're feeling lost in the noise, remove the noise,
Lost in the sauce.
Lost in the sauce. Remove the sauce. Go back to the bread and butter.
Oh, that was good. That was good, man.
Scrape off the sauce.
What, off the sauce?
Scrape it off.
Oh, I didn't hear the S.
Jesus.
See.
Grape. So anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we did, and it helped discussing things with you because, again, the soundboard of, but like the really basic principles of training.
Yeah.
You know?
Are you doing those?
How do you feel about those? You know? It's like, oh yeah.
Do you like those?
Like
do you like making progress?
Do you like the basic principles?
Yeah.
When you deviate so far away, you forget to look at them.
Yeah.
And then when you just return to them, then they make up the 95% of how you view training.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh well, now how I view it is like, oh yeah, well, you know, I'm doing all the basic principles, and my training takes the basic principles. So
yeah, that's something that I've found myself saying quite a bit as well, is like, I like just doing what works. I kind of know what works in training, and I like just doing that. Yeah, like there'd be a lot of things maybe that I see people doing training, and I'd be like, yeah, like you could do that, or you could do like what works. Yeah, so bring it back to those basic things. Yeah, make sure you're building more muscle. Make sure you're training within a reasonable capacity that you can recover from. You're not doing too much. Yeah, just do what works.
Slightly off topic, but on the topic of training.
Yeah.
Abby, my sister, getting strong again.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. And she's been running as well. So maybe we can talk about that, because it's something that's been toying on my mind a little bit.
Yeah.
But Abby is my older sister. She's 4 years older.
Yep.
She's an occupational therapist. She has, again, she's all those, like, you know, standard, like, life goals being pursued. You know, she's getting married next year.
Hell yeah.
I imagine there's going to be mini Abbeys in the years, you know, in not the too distant future.
Yeah.
She has all these, like, life goals that she's taken off, occupational goals. And when we were younger, she got really strong, really fast.
Yeah.
Had some boo-boos, had a sore back. Okay?
Yeah.
Then COVID happened.
Yeah.
And she was always, like, training, always athletically active. But after that pain experience that she had, powerlifting became less desirable.
Appealing, yeah.
Because it was like, oh, no, I just tried to train and my back sore. Like, no one wants to do that.
Yeah.
Especially when she hadn't competed yet. It was like, well, what's the point in doing something that hurts? I'll just do something that doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
So she trained, would kind of dabble in powerlifting every now and again, but never excessively interested. And then in the last few months, we've strung together, I just looked, 12 training blocks in a row. And she's so much stronger than block one. We have it all. I let
It's mad how that happens, man. You train for 12 blocks.
You train for 12 blocks. She hasn't gotten like a ton heavier. That was something she didn't want to do. It's like, I don't want to get super bulky. And I know we roll our eyes as powerlifters typically to that. But no, that's a genuine, like, you know,
I'm more on that page.
You're more
I'm on that page.
But it's even like, what if someone just wants to be the exact same size?
Yeah.
And like, she's happy to put on muscle, but more like, she doesn't. She just wants to wear the same clothes. And it's like, okay, that's okay. Can we progress in that parameter? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's been. I coach her, but she's my sister, and so it's very foot off the gas. Just like, let's just chat about training to the degree you want to chat about it, and when you don't, we won't, and you'll just do your own thing. She, you know, enjoys all of her social activities. She drinks. She moves training around based on how she feels and whatever, and things that I don't do, and yet she's making a ton of progress. So she's taking the core principles, and she's getting really strong. She she is going to max out in like 2 weeks
Hell yeah.
for the crack. I know her wedding dress is like chosen and ordered, so she's going to have to be that size when the wedding dress comes.
Yeah.
So she can't bulk too much.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also imagine the planning of the wedding takes up so much of her time and energy that she might not compete. But I would love if she did some competitions, and I'd love for her to just get the experience of a competition, because I think once you do it, it kind of bites you a little bit,
Yeah.
and then you want to do more. Whereas so long as she doesn't do her first one, she won't feel the desire to keep going. And then the closer the wedding gets, it's like, I'm busy. Where I think if she did one soon, she'd be like, oh, well, now I want to do one before the wedding and so on. I think she'd be really strong.
Yeah, I think so too.
She's like 61 kilos maybe, if I was to guess, 60, 61. Squatting 120.
Woohoo.
115.
Come on now.
For 3.
Hell yeah.
Bench is like 60.
Yeah. Big.
Deadlift's like 130.
Big.
She has her brother's kind of split. You heard the 120 squat, you're like 150 pull. No, she got that. That row split.
The coaches.
Yeah. So anyway, that's an exciting thing.
That's very good. How many days a week is she training?
4. Oh yeah, and she fucking runs. So
yeah, I was gonna ask you that.
She had. Did you ever hear bursitis? You know if that's it?
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck.
It's like it's like a little fellow who's like hiding out in a joint or something.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just like.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It's like nothing. It's not a big deal. Like, and I'm sure if you just like numbed the area with an injection, you wouldn't feel it, and you'd be able to pursue whatever movement is causing you pain. But when it's there, it's like, I imagine it's just like tendonitis, but I don't even know if it's that.
It's like a little fucking thing. I think it's like
it's
actually that's what I mean. Like a little fellow who's just like in your knee or your elbow.
Oh, really?
Or something like, yeah.
So she had that in her hip, and anytime she tried to run and sometimes train.
Okay. I could be making that up, by the way.
Anyone listening, if you have someone small in your joints, just let us know, and we'll investigate. But she had bursitis in her hip, and but now she's running around. So I think she's doing a high rocks in November, and she did an 8K the other morning, and she trained 4 times this week. You know.
Crazy.
Lower upper.
Respect.
Yeah.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out to her.
On the note of high rocks.
Yeah.
In the lead up to say like Euros and like that podcast we did, I was like,
Andrew heard high rock stands for hybrid rock star, and now he wants to do it. So he wants to be a hybrid rock star. That's what he said to me. He said, I want to be a hybrid rock star.
Oh, crazy. No, I actually thought like I would be able to do one.
No.
Like in my brain, I was like, yeah, like I could. I've been training 6 days a week for the last 5 years. I could do a high rocks. I know it's like a different style of training, but like I could do it. And then when we were flying over to Spain for European Championships, my cousin was actually on the flight.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, yo, what are you doing here? And he was like, oh, I'm flying over to Malaga to do the high rocks over there. And I was like, oh shit, like I'll come and like support. Yeah. So this is the first time I've ever actually seen what's involved in a high rocks. And like beforehand, I was hyping it up, and I was telling you, I was like, oh man, we got to do one. Mm-hmm. And go see it. It was actually crazy. Yeah. Man, there's so many people there. There was thousands and thousands of people. I was like, this is kind of sick. Like I would do this. And then it started, and then I'd say about 5 minutes in, I was like, yeah, there's no shot in the slightest that I'd have to train a year if I wanted to.
A year?
This. Yeah, I'd say I'd have to probably train for a year. Okay, for anyone who doesn't know, I don't know if it starts with a run. I think it. No, yeah, it would. So it starts with like a kilometer run. Then you have to go into a station of like pulling a sled or pushing a sled or something like that. And then you do another kilometer run. And then you go to another station. And then you do another kilometer run. And then back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. By the 4th run, I think my knees would probably disintegrate. Like, you know the way you talk about your cheese knees? Oh, the knees would be
melted
gone.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they're
Parmesan.
they're not even there anymore.
Yeah.
Like the stations, easy. Could do the stations, no problem. You're pushing this lead, you're doing lunges or something. Actually, there was a burpee station.
Man,
there's no way. There's
a
shot.
point maybe a month ago, if I did a burpee, I would have just bounced straight back up. There's no push up. Yeah, no shot.
Yeah, there's actually no shot.
I don't think it would take a year. That's bullshit.
Mm.
Okay, what are we talking? To get through it?
Oh, no, you'd get through. There's no time limit. So, like...
Okay.
You could walk.
Okay.
Like, you could walk. Okay, say like a great time, I think. Okay, it depends if it's doubles or singles. The doubles, I think a great time is like under an hour, from what I could gather. Okay?
That's a really good time.
For us, to get under an hour, I think we'd have to train for at least a year.
What about under an hour and a half?
Yeah, we could do that. We could do that.
You do that right now?
I think everything would be sore after, but I think we could do that. I think we could do that. Oh, maybe not. Okay, there's a couple guys. There's a couple guys in the gym, right?
Yeah.
Who were like, oh, let's just do a 5K. So they decided they were going to do a 5K, and they hadn't run. These are people who hadn't run in quite a while, and two of them did it in under like 25 minutes, I think. Great time. One of the guys took 50 minutes, to my knowledge. 50 fucking minutes.
That's insane.
That would be me. Apparently, he burst out the gates. The first 800 meters, boom, he was gone. And then after a kilometer, he was dead. So I think that would be us. And if you consider that's a 5K, took him 50 minutes. If you have to do 8K of running plus the stations, yeah, I don't think I'd be able to do under an hour and a half.
How long do you think it would take you of training to achieve a 1 hour, 15-minute high rocks? And the reason I ask is because my gut says...
What are you looking at, man?
Here, do you honestly want to know?
Yeah, what are you looking? That was so distracting.
I was getting this queued up, so we can't put it on the screen.
What are we yeah.
I'd love... Mark, pull up people flipping and landing on their face.
Did you send it to?
No.
No.
No, I don't think we have the capacity to put that up.
Yeah, that's fine.
No, we don't. Mark's shaking his head. It's beautiful.
Fucking
Haircut.
head.
Yeah, it's beautiful fucking head.
Yeah, no, there was another thing that's happening in the gym. I've become infatuated with wanting to learn how to do a backflip.
Yeah.
So I got an impulse.
Infatuated is such a strong word.
Yeah, no, that's how strong the sensation is, brother.
Really?
Yeah. I got the impulse to buy one of those like gymnastics fucking landing mats, like a crash mat.
Yeah. Aren't they fucking huge, huh?
Yep, they are. But you need it for a huge guy who's going to be flipping around, so...
Who's the huge guy?
You.
Oh,
I'll be flipping you around.
Whoa.
Anyway, yeah. So I bought that, and then I was like, okay, I was watching loads of videos, and I found a section where there was two guys who were who were fucking teaching each other how to flip. They were flipping one guy over another. And I screen recorded and I sent it to you, and I was like, bro, this is what we've got to do.
Yeah.
Like, we got to do this.
Yeah.
And then tried it in the gym. Got it successful. Two of us, we did successful backflips, and then we got another one of the guys in on it, and it was like a WWE move. I've never seen anything like it. We're probably going to get an email from the gym being like, don't ever do that.
Don't ever do that again.
Your membership is gone. Like,
You can't
don't ever do
attempt to
that
murder
shit.
people in the gym.
Yeah, nah, this guy got fucking tombstone pile driver, fucking frog splash sent over the guy's back and head first into the floor. Man,
It actually looked like a WWE move because they kind of go limp in order for the other person to perform the movement, and they just did it. They exaggerated as well. It looked like his plan was to be flopped onto the floor.
Oh,
You're supposed to land on your feet. He just limped, flaccid body.
Immediately had a massive bruise on his leg. It was like black and purple.
Man,
yeah,
1
crazy.
degree off, it was his face hitting the ground first.
Yeah.
Insane, hilarious. We should post it on our story.
We
So long as you get permission.
Yeah.
And really, you already have it.
It's on my phone, man. You can't do anything about it.
That's fucking crazy. Yeah, you're gonna post that shit, and we'll tag him, and we'll overlay this clip. You can overlay things on Instagram. Right?
Yes, you can indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very, 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 very fair. But we're gonna learn that, and we're gonna do that successfully, and we'll post us doing it.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get the actual backflip, and then I'll be busting that out everywhere.
Yeah, it'd be your response to things.
Yeah.
As soon as you can backflip, people just say things. And
Oh, that's if I get it. I might break my neck and be gone.
Do you have... I'll break your neck. Back. Do you have any goals? So you mentioned the powerlifting pursuit. Then high rocks is on the horizon. And then backflips. So talk to us.
There's no high rocks. I'm not doing that. So, like, watching the high rocks, all the people who had the good times, they were all runners. Anyone who was even a little bit jacked, man, shut the fuck up. He's giving me the... Man, get out of here.
This guy, he
Suck
loves
my
saying
nuts,
shit.
man.
This
Suck
time
my
next
nuts,
year,
man.
he's going to be like, yeah, man, an hour, 3 minutes. An hour, 3 minutes is great.
Yeah, nah, there's no... Okay, all the people with good times are like runners. They're like skinny fellas. Like,
I'm still laughing, man. You're going to be jack shredded.
No, anyone who was a little bit jacked, man, they were cooked. Like, by the third, fourth run, like carrying muscle mass to do those things. All the people who had good times were runners. They were all skinny fellas. So I would have to change my body type so much to be good at that, I think.
Put in a
It's
bench
just-
press one in it, you know what I mean? Seriously, let's do
yeah.
hybrid rockstar. Let's make it real hybrid rockstar. Let's put in a squat, bench, and deadlift station, bro. What are you doing with the fucking burpees?
Yeah,
Come
actually, that's fair.
on, let's get
So, yeah,
lifted in
I
it.
think high rocks off the cards, man. I'm not doing that. After seeing it in person, it's cool. It's very cool. Respect to people who are doing it, but I think body type has to be too different. But then, on that same note, I went bouldering with my brother, like indoor rock climbing.
Yeah.
The most fun thing ever. I think I said in the last episode that my brother keeps badgering me to do it. It was so fun.
Was it?
It was so fun. I'm gonna do it a couple times a week.
Nice.
So and
You're
it's
gonna get a membership and you can just go.
yeah. I think the membership is a little bit spenny, but it's worth it, I'd say.
Yeah.
But like I get like obsessions, and this has been my latest obsession. Like I've watched so many videos on like the technique. I've gone one time. I must have watched hours of videos on like the technique and how to get good at it and stuff like that. I'm gonna buy like the pair of shoes and everything. I'm gonna be the fellow who has all the gear and no idea. But it's so.
You do have an idea.
Yeah, I do have an
You've
idea
done all
now.
this research. I just
So
man.
But-
Does everyone do this? Like
What?
when you develop an interest in something,
Does
everyone just like watch like a million hours of
Neurotically,
YouTube and try it as much as they can and buy everything? Is that
Yeah.
not what everybody
This
does?
is what I did with powerlifting. This is what I did with the gym. Like, that's how I got good at it. So, yeah. Oh, that's the latest fixation. That's an obsession now. But so fun. But then, because my brother's way lighter than me, and he was doing all these mad like courses and routes and things like that. But I was like, here, that one's too hard. Like I'm too heavy to do that. And he's like, you're not. Stop using that as an excuse. That's bullshit. Blah blah blah. I was watching one of the videos, and there was a guy talking about a route that he was doing, and he was like, and in fairness, I'm quite heavy for like a competitive climber. I'm 70 kilos. And I was like, yo, what the hell? He was saying how most of the competitive climbers are like 62 kilos.
Of course they are.
So I was like, here, fat chance. There's fat. I would have to change my body type so much to be good at that. And then I started realizing the body type to be like really good at powerlifting does not carry over to anything else. Like
That's what I was trying to figure out.
there's
Is there
no
anything
other
you can
physical
do?
pursuit. Just lifting something heavy like one time. You just want to be big and thick and bulbous and
Tug of war or whatever.
just
What else could you do with the
it doesn't-
body type?
Bosu Paul missionary.
I'm never introducing you to a topic again.
Man, that's crazy.
Or a joke.
Anyway, yeah. Oh, just like it. The guy was actually saying there was a climber who stayed in a wheelchair for like weeks to atrophy his legs so that he would be lighter and more competitive when he was going climbing. That's nuts.
Fucking insane.
Obviously, I'm not doing that. Like,
No.
but
No.
crazy.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I have these. I'm gonna be bouldering now. I'm gonna be swimming a couple times a week. I don't know what else I'm gonna do. I'm gonna backflip.
Mhm.
Yeah, we're doing it all.
I'd love to watch you swimming.
Yeah,
How good are you at swimming on a scale of 1 to 10? Can't say 6.
5. Yeah, that's partially why I'm doing it because I never liked it. I never enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why not make that
I'd say you
strength?
look elegant in the water.
Oh, brother, I'll show you. I'll take you swimming.
Yeah.
I'll take you swimming.
And like a swimsuit.
Yeah. Come on now, speedos.
Yeah.
The budgie smugglers.
Man,
Come on now.
we both hit in the bath.
Man, just wait till I'm shredded. Hey, what did you say?
Take me swimming. Yeah.
Yeah.
Personal
Oh
surfboard
man, wait till
right
I'm. Actually, guess what? I weighed this morning.
Guess?
Yeah.
Like, you want me to guess?
No, I said guess so that
No, you actually want a number. 101.8.
101.5.
Oh,
Yeah, that was close.
damn.
Man, 101.5. Come on now.
Measly.
I'm getting shredded. I'm getting
Measly,
shredded.
man.
Oh, I feel so much better at this body weight.
You're doing worlds.
Oh yeah, that's an update because I haven't. Okay, another update. I haven't gone on Instagram in
Yeah, this is crazy.
3 and a bit weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just haven't gone on Instagram, and it's probably been one of the best things ever. I have enjoyed it so very thoroughly.
Just YouTube and Snapchat shorts. Just like the
Snap-
algorithm
okay,
isn't adjusted to you at all. It's
Sna-
just like generic.
Snapchat shorts is that's okay. If you watch those, honestly, don't ever talk to me. Don't ever speak to me in your life. Right? Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Snapchat shorts. But yeah, I haven't gone on Instagram at all, and it has been so like just in terms of mental clarity, mental peace, it's beautiful. So really, really, really enjoyed that. But there is people that I need to get back to on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely unopened messages and stuff like that. Although, again, I'm kind of the opinion that like if you need to reach me, you'll have my number and you can text me because I'll get back to you if you text me.
Yeah.
And then if you don't have my number, if it's important enough, eventually you'll get my number. So I do need to go back on Instagram because there is stuff about Worlds coming up, and I haven't posted it because I haven't been on Instagram. But I was invited to Open World Championships as an under 105 lifter, baby. Oh my God, the return. 105 Blackwood. So we talked about it before and how the rule in the Irish Federation is essentially that you have to compete in the weight class that you qualified in. After Junior Euros in October, November, whatever it was, I set the national record total as an open. I presumed someone would beat that at nationals. It turned out that no one beat it, so I was like the open team select. They selected me, but I was always planning on cutting down after Junior Euros, so I was super light when they selected me. I still went, but I knew like I wasn't going to be as strong. I didn't really want to compete as 120, and that was kind of what led into the last episode where I was like, okay, I think this will be the last one because I don't want to compete under 120 again. I'm so light. I want to continue going down in body weight. I kind of even had to stop the cut to just be able to make weight. I was underweight. I was blah, 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 blah. And as like a personal goal going into Open Euros, I was like, I want to tick off the 105 qualifying total for the national team within like a close proximity to the weight class so that I can kind of just like prove to myself, like that's a little win that I could have.
Yeah.
And I did that, thankfully. I actually didn't even expect myself to do that. I was like 104 the week of the comp, bloated myself up. I was like 106-ish when I weighed in, and I totaled 805, which was the QT. And after the comp, I said to the head coach, I was like, brother, come on. You saw what I did. I was so close to the weight class. Let me cook. Let me cook in the 105s. Because we had already talked about it, and he was like, nah, we can't bend the rules for you, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, sweet. But after the comp, I was like, go on. Like, go on. And they're like, okay, we'll consider it. They considered it, and they were like, you know what? You can go ahead. We'll select you as a 105. And they sent me the invitation. I accepted it. But since Open Euros, training has been a little bit hit and miss. As I said, I'm off program with Joey. I'm now down to 101 kilos body weight. Training's just not, it hasn't been as big of a priority. I had like loads of buzz coming off the competition, then just some personal stuff going on. Training just had to take a backseat a little bit. And now I'm in a position where I'm like, okay, I think we're 8-ish weeks out. I need to lock in if I'm going to do it, or make a decision if it's not the right call or not the right like move to go ahead with it. I'm not 100% sure. As of now, I've accepted it. So as of now, I am going. I think the final nominations are like May-ish time. So I have a little bit of time to think about it. But yeah, actually, as I sit here right now, I don't know. I actually don't know. What do you think I should do?
Whatever makes you happiest is number one priority.
Yeah.
If you were to ask 80-year-old Blackwood,
yep,
what do you think he'd say? What do you think? Obviously, you can't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. Like I've done a lot of them now, and it's like if I'm still going down in body weight, how good is the competition going to be? It'd be for the experience, but another consideration now is like the financial side of things, where I'm like, do I want to spend so much money again? Like I've gone to so many of these, and they cost a lot of money.
The money's rough,
and there's not a whole lot of support that you get. The federation is good in terms of like covering the doping fees and the entry fees and stuff like that, but the accommodation, the flights, the food while you're over there, the transport, all of that does add up to be a decent amount of money. Like there's been some competitions where I've spent multiple thousands to go to it. And I'm like, okay, I just have to weigh up, like, is that worth that in the current point in time? I think, as I was saying in the last podcast, like, it feels a little bit more pressing to do other things in my life. There's other things that I could put that money towards that are perhaps more important. So that's kind of just what I'm weighing up at the moment, and I don't know. Well, I'll probably have an answer by the next podcast, so we'll see.
Do you have to have an answer by this Friday, don't you?
I don't know. I guess, yeah, probably.
I'm not sure. Maybe I'm mixing it up with a few weeks ago, to be honest.
A few weeks ago, shit. I'm cooked.
No, do you remember you had to, like, initially?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to decide so we can book something, or I can book it myself as well.
Yeah, because you're going over as a coach.
As coach. That was so fun.
In Spain.
Yeah, really fun.
Tell the people about it, brother.
It's like a big full circle.
Yeah,
big full circle. Andrew and I met at both of our first competitions. 2018. And since have obviously developed our, like, romantic relationship over the years throughout competitions, etc. At my first international in Helsingborg in Sweden in 2019 as a sub-junior, that was Jack Thornton's first coaching competition with the Irish team. That was 2019. And then at that competition in Malaga, it was the open team. So I was a sub-junior then, and that was his first coaching internationally. And then he was head coach for the Irish team. We were open. I was an assistant coach, and you were an open lifter.
Hell yeah, brother. That's full circle.
That's a full circle.
That's a fat old circle. It was like 120 Andrew's belly, man. A big fat old circle.
Yeah, but you were like 106.
Yeah. So
I need to post that.
It's like an oval.
There's like a good picture of us, like, on a hug. And
No, there was good pictures.
Need to post that shit.
There was good pictures from
It's fun, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the highlight of the trip for you?
Man, it's just like it was actually that the trip in and of itself. This is rare, but the whole trip was a highlight of the last, like, year.
Interesting. Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just one moment. It was that I really enjoyed the entire trip. I sad to go home.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had a different experience.
You did.
Just because you were coaching, so you were busy the whole time. But I was waiting around.
I was not only busy coaching, but then I could be socially active.
Yeah.
Like, you could, okay.
Yeah.
You could
leading
that.
into the comp, like,
You could be more, like, you could engage socially, but it's like you're playing this game of how much do I want to tire myself out.
Yeah.
And distract myself.
Yeah, and I was trying not to do. I was trying to do the durance of, like, do 5 steps the day before the comp. And in fairness, I think it worked because performance-wise, I, like, overperformed based on my expectations. So I think it was the right call, but not. And it was different as well because we'd been around the junior ranks for so long. Like, you know everyone basically. Yeah. Or not everyone, but, like, it feels that way. Like, you kind of,
Malta and Prague were, like, social events, and then we lifted as well.
And then you do a little bit of lifting.
Yeah.
So this time was different. Like, the coaches are different. The other lifters you're competing against are different. Since it's open, everyone's kind of like an adult, a bit more mature. There's not as much, like, tomfoolery, perhaps. I'm sure there was plenty. I'm sure there was plenty.
You know. Once everybody's an adult until you're having fireballs.
Yeah. Oh, I heard about that one. That was a day or two before I was competing.
Yeah.
I wasn't privy to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then, like, went out the night after I competed, but I was just so tired that I went to bed quite early. Yeah. Actually, I think I had half a drink.
Yeah, they brought out the Long Island with no mixer in it.
Oh.
It's a clear glass.
Yeah.
Of poison.
Yeah, that was wrong. Drank half of that, and then I was like, oh, I'm tired. I'm going to bed.
Yep.
The old Irish goodbye.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I was going to say I only had half a drink the whole trip. Because the following day, we had a few we had a few jugs of sangria.
Oh my god, that meal was unbelievable.
Yeah,
we had like everything on the menu and a few jugs of sangria. That was amazing. that was the highlight of the trip. Yeah,
that
was super.
Yeah, by far that was. Apparently, it was like Antonio Banderas' restaurant or something. Some actor.
I don't know.
El Pimpy. Come on now, that was beautiful. We trained in a gym. We
did train in a gym.
what was it fucking called? Discipline Center or something like that?
Yeah. In Malaga.
Yeah, amazing gym. The owner was super, super, super friendly.
Yeah.
Super nice.
Yeah.
He recommended El Pimpy. That was great. That was a really good experience as well. After I was lifting, we only had it like a couple of days though. After I was lifting.
Yeah. And you were like that last day nearly.
Yeah. So there wasn't a whole lot.
Were you the last day?
No,
It was the day after?
second last.
Okay.
But yeah, that was quite enjoyable. Spain was a lovely place to have the comp.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I'm very glad that they're having it in like more places like that. Malta, Spain,
As opposed to what?
Germany, as opposed to places that aren't that. Man, shut up. Why are you trying to get me in trouble?
I'm not saying anything.
Yeah, no, they were just lovely locations. Other times you're in the back arse of nowhere. You're just in a very small city.
I would even say
in a sports hall.
Czech Republic
Yeah.
was like, oh, cool, Prague.
Yeah, and then you're...
And it's like, oh no, just go 2 hours that way.
Or like Turkey. You're like, oh, class. Everyone's telling me Istanbul is like
Yeah.
the most beautiful city they've ever been in. 2.5 hour drive outside Istanbul. Like there was literally nothing around.
Yeah.
Poland, again, you're in the, like
Oh, man.
literally, it looked like something out of like a Call of Duty map, like some abandoned town.
Yeah.
Because again, there's so many nice places, nice cities, but it's always in a really remote place outside of a nice city.
It's like, are we really like, is the IPF really that stuck for funds? Like,
There could be a whole conversation there, I'm
Yeah.
sure. But it was interesting comparing that to High Rocks, like how much bigger the production is.
Yeah.
Because say like a World Championships, most of the time it's just the teams of the competitors who are in the crowd. Like there's not spectators. It was cool for Spain because there was people coming over just to watch.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And if it was in more big cities, there's probably going to be more
Yeah.
people coming to just watch.
Yeah.
Comparing that to like High Rocks where there was like thousands of people there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure powerlifting is growing in that regard, and it's going to get better. And Sheffield is kind of a window into what it could be like,
Yes, it is.
or what it is like at those events.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully it keeps moving in that direction. Anyway, what the hell were we talking about?
Anyway, sorry, I have no idea what I'm talking about. It's like re-hit the conscious button.
Yeah. Oh, but like by the way, I had a scoop of pre-workout on the drive over
Yeah.
here, and then Mark so graciously offered us a Monster, and I drank that too. So I'm sweating, and I can't concentrate. So
Okay, first of all, take off your clothes.
Um,
Secondly, when you said that, my heart like was like skipping beats for some reason. I was like
Palpitations.
trying to get it to go back. I don't know if you saw my face. I was like
trying to
trying
concentrate
to
on
consciously
living.
beat my heart. I was like, just, you know,
Yeah. Yeah, I can't get too animated, or otherwise I'm just gonna start sweating.
Speaking of animated,
Yeah.
have you started Invincible yet?
Yeah, I watched half an episode, and I was like, nah.
You need to just finish the episode.
Nah,
Mark, have
I
you watched
started
Invincible?
having it.
Mark,
Oh, so you're just a loser, man.
man, I'm not. It's
So
like,
someone else told me to watch it.
Yeah.
And I believed you both, and I put on an episode, and I was like, okay, I see. I put on the first season. I don't know if I should have started on a later season, but like presumably you start in the beginning. Like,
who the fuck says to start a later season?
I don't know, man. Maybe it gets better. Like, I don't know. The first episode didn't do it for me.
Man, the first season has like a 99% rating.
I don't know. 99% of losers watch the show. Maybe I don't know. No, I'm kidding. That's a joke.
Weak.
Yeah, no, it just didn't. It didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of animation, cartoony anime thing. Don't know.
Yeah, it is like a white anime.
Why? What do you mean by that?
Just like, you know, all the heavily recommending anime.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just like Americanized anime.
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see it. People likened it to The Boys, and it's
Yes.
kind of like cartoon version of The Boys. I could kind of see that. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Just struggled to get into it. And I gave it half an episode, and I was like, I don't judge. Respect to whoever is into it. It's not for me.
I understand that. As with any show,
Yeah.
I keep seeing things pop up for me, and it's like, it's girls saying, if your boyfriend has recommended this silly little cartoon Invincible, it's not fucking silly.
Oh,
And everybody's loving it.
Yeah.
I recommend it to anyone listening. If you can get through like one episode, because if you're not used to seeing anything animated, it will be like fucking animation. you
Yeah.
know? But if you can get through an episode, it's really good.
Yeah, I think it's like it was too slow or something for me.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
seeing cartoons blow up and stuff, I'm like,
I will say I found a lot of the shows that I ended up really enjoying started off super slow, like both Suits. I ended up watching the whole thing, loving it, but the first attempt, I got like halfway through the episode, I was like,
Yeah.
and then the same with Peaky Blinders, I was like, man, this is set in the olden
Interesting.
days. And then I ended up loving it.
Yeah.
Happens, and maybe you'll never like it, but I do recommend it to people. It's like an adult superhero fiction.
yeah, I
adults.
think there's like 4 seasons. Am I right?
It's 3.
Seeing that as well always puts me off. I'm like, that's a commitment. Because
Yeah.
if I do get into it, then I'm like, I know I have to sacrifice X amount of my time to watch this.
And you will, is what you were saying.
Yeah, if I like it.
Shows.
So I actually was trying to make a conscious decision to, like, I was debating deleting all the streaming platforms off my phone.
Yeah.
I went down a rabbit I went down a rabbit hole of Drive to Survive. Oh, so I love that. Formula One racing. I watched like the earlier seasons and liked them. And then for whatever reason didn't watch when like the previous 2 or 3 seasons came out. And then I just binge watched all of them. I went back. I liked that a lot. And then I was getting into like just anything else that was related to driving. So I watched like the Michael Schumacher documentary and then the like Ayrton Senna documentary. Crazy stories, both of them. Ayrton Senna died on the racetrack, crashed his car. And there was like a thing where normally with a crash like that, you would expect the person to survive. So no one thought it was going to be that big of a deal. But like for whatever reason, the angle of like a piston or something hit him in the head. And he died. And then Michael Schumacher, kind of similar thing. I think Ayrton Senna and Schumacher were like racing each other when Senna died.
Yeah.
And then Schumacher, really successful career, but I don't know if he was retired by the time or if he was still driving, had like a skiing accident. And I mean, they actually didn't show it in the documentary. They just like kind of alluded to it. But I think he's like a paraplegic now. I don't know if that's like a rude thing to say. I don't think he can talk and I don't think he can move anymore.
Why is paraplegic a rude thing to say?
I don't know because I don't know what it actually means. But I think it means that.
That works.
Yeah. I don't think he had like a traumatic brain injury. Actually, hey, that's a bit of you, man.
Wait, not me. I don't have a traumatic brain injury.
No, you're smart with that kind of thing, man. They need to get you onto Schumacher's case, and he'd be back driving in no time. I think it was like 12 years ago.
I just help him accept that he's not driving.
Oh my god, that's crazy. Yeah, so that was really interesting. Went down that, and then I started getting into like I think it's called like Moto GP, like motorbikes, racing, kind of like Formula One. So interesting, man. They're going around corners. If a motorbike is meant to be like up like that, they're literally like videos of their shoulder scraping on the ground because they're that fucking sideways as they're going. Insane, so cool. And then they're the two of the best riders are brothers.
Yeah.
So it's like these like Marquez, brother. I think that's their name, Marquez. Mark Marquez and Alex Marquez.
Mark Marquez, come on.
And they're like the best racers, and they'd be racing each other like for first and second.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's so sick.
Yeah.
So sick. So yeah, I started getting real into that, and then I was watching videos on that, and then I was like, man,
would you motorbike?
No. And I can't remember. I think when I was young, I think my parents were like, that's like too dangerous or something.
Yeah.
I think we knew. I don't know if I'm making it up, but I feel like we maybe knew someone who had like a motorbike accident. Or that's just how I'm like vaguely remembering it. Or we talked to someone who knew someone who had a anyway. I was like, okay, that's too dangerous. Even growing up, I was like in a car. Like you just get in a car and just like, crash and die. So like growing up, I was like, driving seems scary. And now, oh man, you should have seen me fucking driving here today after my pre-workout, man. I was like Ayrton Senna.
Oh God! Don't say that.
I was abiding by the.
Never getting in the car with you again. Creepy pervert man driving like that. I used to honestly think that the worst thing about a motorbike was it didn't have a roof. So when it was raining, you just get wet.
Valid.
Yeah. Then I started to see like, is it tuk-tuks? They have a little roof, but they're basically a motorbike. Is that a racist thing?
No. Is that racist more racist?
No, you just laughed deviously like I said something.
No,
really,
I was
really
just imagining
naughty.
a tuk-tuk on the M50, like on the motorway.
At least has a fucking roof.
Man, all of those... No, okay, that actually was probably not going to be okay to say. No, isn't there a lot of things that the... like in town, there's a lot of like like the people who are like driving them sell drugs.
Really?
That's where you go to get drugs, like. Yeah.
You'd know.
You go into the rickshaws, like.
Interesting you know that.
Everyone knows that, I think.
Nope, I didn't. Mark, did you know that?
Yeah, Mark.
Mark's on Blackwood's team today. I'm slipping him a $5 next time. He's going to be on my team. Every time I say something.
Mark, pull up the rickshaw drivers on drugs.
Here, we are going to... Mark, do you think we'll ever be able to pull stuff up?
Yeah, no, we 100% can. Like. Yeah. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, that's cool.
Pre-plan on the rickshaw drivers.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, no, that's where they all say. And Deliveroo drivers.
Yeah?
Yeah, often are delivering something else too.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm going to start getting Deliveroos and see what they bring me.
Yeah. Yeah. What were we? Oh yeah, tuk-tuks and motorbikes and
Yeah.
whatnot. Would you drive a motorbike?
No, my dad did when they were younger,
Ah.
and my mom's dad was like, "You're not fucking going out with that guy." And they did.
Because geez, so maybe it gets the girls. The motorbike gets the girls.
Yep,
Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
maybe.
man, you could probably
But
do
then
it with a motorbike.
then they have to sit behind you and fucking hug you and shit. I'll let you
ride?
Oh man, I'll be riding non-stop. You wouldn't need a fucking. You need a 4-wheel motorbike for that though. That's a lot of
man,
weight.
you'd just be on the back like the 2 wheels. You'd be wheeling everywhere. You'd be wheeling everywhere down the motorway. Like
The suspension will be gone. We'd both just be like feet on the ground motorbiking. Yeah.
yeah.
Did you have Heelys?
Heelys. Oh no, my brother did though, and they always look too advanced for me. I don't think I could
Fair.
get.
They do. They are advanced. I remember
Yeah.
putting on a pair. I was like, oh. Yeah.
Could you ever skateboard?
I was ass. Like I could do the
Yeah.
typical like vroom vroom,
Yeah.
and you kind of get like a little push, and that's it.
Yeah. No, I can never do that.
Probably
My brother
still
was-
fell.
Yeah, my brother was good at skateboarding as well. Rollerblade?
No.
Yeah, I don't think I ever.
Not a
I
hope.
don't think I ever even did once.
Scooter.
Yeah.
What's the one that you had to like
Oh, the flicker.
flicker? Oh man.
Yeah.
Do other countries have those? Or is it just like a perverted Irish thing?
Why is it perverted at all?
I don't know. Why is it like? Like who thought that was a good idea to make a kid's toy? That's like.
No, that you're wrong for
Twerk
that,
the
man. You're
movie,
wrong
bro.
for that. You're wrong
Man.
for that, man. Nah, that's that's a you problem, man.
It's not a me problem.
That's a you
didn't make
problem. I can't believe you
I didn't
fucking
fucking make it.
man. How would you even make that connection?
I don't fucking know. Someone said it to me.
That's crazy. Oh, another thing actually. I got a new partnership, a new like brand thing, and it's funny that now I'm climbing, I'm bouldering because I got the crazy. That's actually insane. I started this one. I haven't posted. I'm not on Instagram, so I haven't posted about it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, they're like, this guy has like 20,000 followers. Let's go, give him a partnership. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm deleting Instagram.
yeah, I haven't used Instagram in a month.
I'm just gonna tell my friends.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's actually like a rock climbing company, and it's like hand care products. Have we talked about it at all?
Yeah.
On the podcast.
We have.
We talked about it on the podcast.
Maybe once or twice.
Yeah. So anyway, it's their rhino skin, and yeah, that's the partnership now. So it's on Nature Climbing. Use code Blackwood.
Why do you use it? What is it?
So it started off because I kept tearing my hands. I just kept tearing my hands, just non-stop tearing my hands. And I was like, I need to do something about this. So how can I was just Googling, how do I not tear my hands when I'm deadlifting? And kind of was seeing information from like some powerlifters. There's some kind of like hand care videos online. And then it kind of took me to CrossFitters because they have to do all sorts of mad shit. They're doing like max deadlifts
Testosterone.
in 1 minute.
Growth hormone. Is that what you're talking about? That's what they do.
Yeah,
Protect their hands.
Fucking max deadlifts in
Yep.
1 minute, and then you have to do like 1 million muscle ups or something. So their hands are getting tanked.
Yeah.
So then there was some videos from them, and then I finally got onto rock climbers, and I was like, oh, these are probably the best because they're hanging from their hands all day. So I started consuming loads of content from that.
Yeah.
And got onto these like rhino skin products. And I don't know if you have heard this, but I heard this for ages, that people are like, oh yeah, make sure you're moisturizing your hands so that they're like more like elastic, like your hands are not like dry and they're gonna crack and then rip and tear and whatever. So I was like, I would be doing that. I'd be fucking shaving down my calluses. I'd be moisturizing my hands. And it was just like making it worse because my hands were really soft. And then my hands, like the skin was real soft and it just kept tearing.
Yeah.
And that was happening over and over. But I was like, people keep telling me that's what I should be doing. So I'm just going to keep doing that. And it just wasn't working.
Just made you softer and softer.
Yes. So then I was watching these videos from the climbers. And they were saying how there's people with different skin types, essentially. So there's some people who have like really dry, like calloused, thick skin on their hands. And then there's other people, and they were saying like it's more European people for whatever reason, have like softer, like more moisture on their hands.
Okay.
And there's different hand care required for the different types of skin. Okay. So for someone who already has like soft skin, like moisturizing your hands is just making the problem worse. Your hands are going to be super soft. It's like a cheese grater. The bar is like cutting into your hands.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, let me see what this is all about. And there's these products, the rhino skin products. There's the ones that I use now. there's a funny one. But the ones I use now are the dry product. There's one that's called like Perform, but they do essentially the same thing. You put it on before you go to bed. Like you spray it, or there's one that's kind of like a cream. Put it on before you go to bed. It takes like 8 hours to activate. You wake up and your hands, it just stops your hands producing any sort of moisture. You do that for a few days in a row. Oh my God, your hands are like, I don't even, have you seen the video? Someone sent me the videos on TikTok. There's a guy who's putting like dog medicine on his hands, and he's like sanding wood with his hands because they're so thick, or like bashing nails down with his hands. That's kind of what your hands go like. And it was revolutionary for my deadlifts. My hands, like, I would get like pain in my hands if I was doing a lot of volume, like holding onto the bar. That like went entirely. I was not getting any tears whatsoever. I was like, this stuff is magic. There's another product. This is the super extreme one, the like super drying agent. It's called Mikey's Tip Juice.
And what does it do?
So apparently it's for the climbers. You're meant to put it on your fingertips for when you're crimping. So that's why it's the tip juice. Yeah, crazy name though.
There you go.
Crazy name.
There
Mikey's Tip Juice.
Yeah.
But that's like extreme drying, so I haven't even tried that one yet. But I would imagine that's super good, super beneficial.
Could actually crack your hands though.
Could do.
Yeah.
Could do. I haven't had that problem yet.
Yeah.
I think it's just because I have generally softer skin anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, that stuff has been crazy. And then I've recommended it to you. I recommended it to a few of my clients, and everyone who's used it had like rave reviews. So
yeah, man, it's just fucking your hands are rough now.
Yeah.
Prefer your
soft hands. You like the fucking soft hands. That's crazy.
yeah, prefer your old hands. Now just no hand it.
Yeah.
You're like the thing from Fantastic Four.
Man, you're insane. Anyway, I got that rhino skin now, and that's brilliant. So anyone who's having fucking grip issues or anything like that, get on the rhino skin. Code Blackwood, nature climbing, baby. I think it works for the whole site, so you can get chalk and shit as well.
He will fix your grip issues.
Yeah, Mikey's Tip Juice. Man, once you get Mikey's Tip Juice on your hand, it's over.
No grip issues with Blackwood. It's the grippiest hander you know.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, that was that.
Yeah.
What else is going on?
The grip master.
Yeah, baby. What else is going on in your world?
You
What's
know the bar brush that like wraps around the bar?
That's crazy.
That's what you're like now.
That is crazy. I hope people know what you're talking about, like what you mean by that.
So do I.
Yeah. It's like a okay, there's a bar behind me. It's like a thing that closes around the bar, and then you like you go like that on the bar.
Oh my God, it's gonna be the most replayed section of the podcast. On YouTube you can see like
most replayed.
Yeah, stop it.
Yeah, that's a crazy product whoever made that.
It's taking me back to last night.
Man, do you know what? Oh my God, I'm pissed. Okay.
Yeah.
This fella right here, he pranked me the other day.
What did I do?
Man, he told me I need help with something for my masters, right? I need help with this project for my masters. Can you come in and do this project for me? Blah blah. This is like a little assessment thing, right? This guy,
Andrew offered his goodwill.
Man, it was a setup. It was actually
a bit of a setup.
It was an autism test. This guy was secretly giving me an autism test.
And they caught you.
And I was bit, and I failed or passed. I don't know. I don't know. With flying colours. He came back and said, "You're a fucking." I was gonna drop the R word.
You've got everything. Under
Man,
the
to be
sun.
honest, can we start dropping the R word?
You can.
Will you do it if I do it?
No.
What? You won't do it?
But I don't mind if you do it.
Okay, no, I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, I can, man.
Yeah. No. Oh yeah, shit. You
I'm
can.
applying to be a doctor, and they're like, interesting.
So it said, yeah.
20 clips here of you.
Okay, I'm not gonna start saying it there, but I've been watching so much like Shane Gillis stuff, and or like Kill Tony, and they let it fly, man. They'll say it like 10 times.
We need to get Mark
a
a Kill Tony soundboard.
Yeah, so he could say it. Man, I won't say it, but we'll let Mark just hit a bomb.
Yeah.
Anyway, it made me feel like that. This guy's the dumbest shit ever. Fuck that experiment.
Dumbest shit ever.
Man, this was the dumbest shit ever. He's like, okay, here's an iPad, and then look at the computer screen in front of you. Okay, start doing these maths equations while at the same time not looking at the iPad, drawing an umbrella over and over and over again. You're not allowed to look at it, and you have to just draw an umbrella. Okay, so I'm busy drawing an umbrella, right, using all my brain capacity to draw this umbrella, and then he's asking me, what's 27 plus 59? Bro, and he's hitting me back to back to back to back with the most complex, simple addition that you've ever seen in your life. Okay, my brain couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Okay, couldn't manage it. And then he's saying, okay, now write this word over and over again. Write sailboat over and you're not allowed to look at it. Okay, all my concentration is going into this writing. And then, okay, so we do that over and over and over again, okay? And I'm going, I'm an idiot, okay? I've never felt so stupid in my life. And then he goes, okay, now we're going to move on to the next challenge. Okay, this, man, this is living rent-free in my head.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He starts giving me these pictures, right? These pictures of a little 3D shape, right? And then he goes, okay, now you have to say yes or no if the image that comes up beside it is the same image shifted on its axis or it's a mirror image. What does that even mean, brother? Okay, what is that? And
Man, you seem to have remembered it pretty well.
okay, yeah, because I've been thinking about it, man. Man, it's keeping me up at night. So,
You've been practicing at home.
so he gives me like a challenge one. He gives me like an example one that is like, okay, this is the sample to explain it. This isn't even like the actual questions yet. Okay, this one is to explain. Like this is explaining the rules to me, and I'm reading it, and it's gibberish. It makes no sense to me at all. And he's like, "Do you understand that?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I have no idea. I have no idea what he's asking me. And then we go into the challenge, and okay, in hindsight, I was like, I probably should have taken it a little bit more time. I thought we were on like a timer. I thought we had like a minute to get through these, and I had to get through it rapid fire.
You did though, and I think at some point, not too often for you, but you did time out on some of them.
Hell yeah! So I'm going through this, and he's showing me the thing, and I have to say yes or no. I have no idea what I'm looking at. I actually had no, and this was before. And in the meantime, I'm drawing a fucking butterfly. Okay, I'm having to draw a butterfly without looking at it, and then occasionally he switches it up and says spider. Okay, I'm drawing a spider and trying to do this shit that I don't even understand in the first place, and draw a spider at the same time. Oh, and we're going back and forth and back and forth. I had to. Do you ever see when you're doing like a multiple choice test, and it's like, okay, I've said A too many times, so I got to hit a B. That was me. I was like, yes, no, no, yes, 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 no, yes, no, 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 yes, no. Oh, I was making it up. I'd say I could not have got more of the wrong if I tried. And I left that. I've never felt dumber in my life. I was like, this guy stitched me up. This is bullshit. But on the drive home, I was like, you know what? How many of those other participants can bench 200? So it's fine.
None.
Yeah, exactly.
Funny enough.
Who's the real winner?
Funny enough.
Me.
You're the only one.
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad. When I looked at your results, you performed on the men's rotation in the like 11-year-old bracket.
Have you ever seen that show of Are You Smarter Than a 10-year-old?
You are.
So I got 11, so pay me. Don't they win like 100 grand on that show? I think so. Where's my 100 grand? Where's my 100 grand, brother? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, it was a very enjoyable time. I'm joking, by the way. I didn't look at your...
I'm glad it was enjoyable for one party.
Man, we laughed. We laughed,
yeah.
We had a good time.
Because if I didn't laugh, I'd cry.
Yeah. If anyone wants to participate...
Yeah.
Andrew,
oh, yeah, I'm not doing... Man, one of my lifters did it.
Yeah.
One of my lifters did it.
Yeah.
He's smart, though. He's doing engineering.
Yeah, engineering.
Yeah.
He was good. Still struggled. Everybody struggles.
Yeah.
Everybody struggles, that's the point.
Yeah.
If anybody does want to participate out of your goodwill and you find a place in your heart that you want to help me, I need to collect a ton of participants. So if anybody wants to participate, it's in UCD on campus. It takes like 30 minutes. So if you have 30 minutes to spare and can access UCD, Belfield campus, let me know. I'm sure so many of these people are not even from Ireland listening.
Yeah.
So probably like, nope. I had a ton of nice people replying to my story saying, I'll do it.
Yeah, and then realising...
They're not in the country.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I really appreciate it.
Fly in.
It's good to know if I was doing anything online.
Yeah.
I had a backing.
You had people.
Yeah.
Yeah, how are you going with that? You're very busy. You're doing your fucking college
It's fun
shit.
now, man. Like, I'm finishing up an EEG report
I don't even know
this
what
week.
that means, brother.
EEG electroencephalography.
Sounds like you don't know what it means either.
It measures like the electrical current from your brain through like electrodes on your scalp. You know, like cap.
Yeah.
I think I sent you a picture of me wearing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was like a practical on learning how to conduct those experiments.
Interesting.
So, yeah, finishing the report now, today and tomorrow. That's my last written report assignment in my master's. Then I have an exam in like 3 weeks. Do that in higher cortical functioning. Then, man, just write my dissertation. That's it.
Fucking hell. You're
I'm a
almost done.
master. And then I...
You're a master.
I'm a master.
A master.
Then
baby.
I start master.
I was waiting for that one.
Fuck's sake.
Man,
Can't
you're
say
gonna
anything around
get
you.
man, you're gonna get your little certificate, right?
Yeah.
Master, and then I'm gonna come in with a Sharpie, brother.
Right,
I'm gonna
Bader.
come in with a Sharpie and write Bader, brother.
Yeah, do.
Yeah.
I'll remember that for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking cock climber over here.
Yeah, man, I'll be crimping on your one. You can't even get a full hold.
I was going to ask you what crimping was.
It's your tiny little fingertip, like.
Oh, wow.
Man, you're just fucking hanging on, like you're just crimping
I'm
on
gonna
your
crimp
little
you, man.
on your little nugget, man.
Crimp you.
Crazy.
Little shrimp.
Oh,
Like holding a,
man, that's vulgar. Come on.
holding like a raisin.
What the hell?
What the hell? It's hilarious. What the hell? Where'd your brain go there? So then I'll just fucking get working and apply to some doctorate programs. Be a
Holy
psychotherapist
God.
probably.
Man,
I was talking to you the
doctorate.
other day. I need to figure it out.
Yeah.
Psychotherapist or clinical psychology. What one do I pursue?
Make it up. Just have a guess.
I honestly close my eyes and point. Like,
Man,
there's
put
no
it-
way I'm going to be that
Put it
disappointed.
in a random generator and you'll be fine. It'll take care of you.
50-50.
Yeah.
You know what I loved? When I learned that in order to get 0% on a true or false test, you have to know the answers. Because if you guess them all, you get about 50%.
Ah, clever.
Yeah.
So did I get 50% of them fucking things? Right? No.
No, he still managed. There was a point, actually, when Andrew was answering, that I thought he had the responses just
The wrong
backwards.
way.
Like the yes and no, because he was like really confidently saying the wrong answer back to back. So he was like, no, yeah, no, yeah. And it was wrong. each
Everyone
time.
was wrong.
And then I really enjoyed at one point. I was trying not to laugh. I
I
was
know
trying to be
what he's
professional. He like corrected himself a bit. He was like, no. Oh, no, yeah.
And
Getting
it
it
was
wrong.
wrong.
Like he corrected it to being wrong. He incorrected it.
I hope you took my first answer.
Nope. Maybe I did. Yeah.
Man, you definitely fudged the results a little bit just to make it look better for me.
Just because, like, so my supervisor isn't like, you can't be recruiting. You know.
Drop it.
No.
It. Say it.
No.
Come on. Say it
No.
with your chest.
Nope.
You want to say it. And I back you.
I know you. But that's it, man. Everything's good, though.
Yeah.
Psychotherapist.
Yeah, I had to ask you the difference.
It's an interesting difference. I actually discussed with my mom last night.
Yeah.
She works with some clinical psychologists.
Okay.
So does Abby. How would I describe this? Psychotherapy is like psychological intervention based predominantly and mainly through discussion, so verbal intervention. And the likes of CBT can employ interventions.
Cock and ball torture.
Can employ interventions that go beyond the session of psychotherapy. However, a clinical psychologist is looking to...
I'm still sorry, I didn't hear anything you said in the last 10 seconds. I was fucking cock and ball torture.
Why did that come to mind for you?
Because someone said it in the gym before. They dropped CBT as if it was a known thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's that? And they were like, you know what it is. And I was like...
And you came up with cock and ball torture.
I was like, don't pretend like I know what it is. Like, what? And then they said it was cock and ball torture, and we laughed a lot. And then I saw like cognitive behavioral therapy, and I was like, nah, that's cock
man,
and ball
imagine
torture.
I had like a client.
On that note, sorry, okay, just on the note of cock and ball torture as cognitive behavioral therapy. Do you know what I heard?
What?
And I said it to you, and you knew it as well. So you must be learning this in college. Yeah. They said, I heard back in the day, if
Oh, for fuck's sake.
a woman was considered to be hysterical or like crazy, they would send her to the doctor, and they'd do what?
They would say they need to be masturbated.
And then I heard that the doctors were getting sick of doing it, so they'd send them to the nuns, and then the nuns would do it instead. And then there was people who realized that, okay, maybe I'd swing that way, so they were acting crazy just to get to go visit the nuns.
And then you agreed that you would start acting crazy.
Man,
It's easy access, you said.
that's crazy.
Yeah. For free.
Man, that's mad.
Yeah.
Why did they stop that?
Yeah, Mark, keep the camera on him.
Don't, man. Oh, whatever. Anyway, yeah, that's mad. CBT. So maybe maybe there is a use for it somewhere.
Cock and ball torture.
This podcast has gone downhill, man.
Let this record note that Andrew wants to pursue CBT.
Man, you're the one who said that you're going to be doing it, so
Anyway.
I'm going to be acting so hysterical. So
role
dumb.
playing
So
and
dumb.
the
So
doctor.
dumb. Come on, my
Like,
granny.
"Oh, I'm
My granny
hysterical.
listens to this,
I
man.
need to be masturbated. Yeah.
Yeah. So moving on. Yeah, CBT. You're talking or something.
Yeah, the difference is like, it is psychological intervention.
See, he's stumbling over his words now. He's hung up on
You'll be talking with cock and ball, don't you?
Stop saying it, man.
That's employed predominantly through like verbal discussion, where a clinical psychologist is also doing so, but would be employing kind of standardized tests and parametric measures to have some like quantitative data to pursue a diagnosis of some sort, a clinical diagnosis, where psychotherapy might, in some instances, be less concerned with pursuing a diagnosis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then this is something I'm not too sure of, and I'll probably have an answer by the next one, just because this is like a new thing I've not been looking at post-grad. You know, like I've not been looking at for doctoral stuff until now. So maybe, I'll look at it a little bit more and I'll have more answers. But so I basically need to decide, do I want to pursue a psychotherapy doctorate or a clinical
So you're going to be
psychologist?
Doctor.
Dr. Rowe.
Dr. Rowe. Oh, my God.
Hell yeah. You know me.
Look at you, brother.
You can call me that if you want to. No,
Look, man, I'll call you that whenever you want,
man,
brother.
get a little stethoscope. Put it up to
I'm hysterical, baby. Dr. Rowe, I'm
I
hysterical.
need to do an exam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Squat and cough. Anyway.
Squat and cough, man. Yeah.
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 Grand. So we're just working away.
We are working away.
There's lots of stuff on the horizon.
What are you most looking forward to?
Going bouldering.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
I'll go with you.
Do.
Yeah. Get day
Do.
pass.
Yeah, it's super fun.
Yeah.
Your
much the day
arms
pass?
might be a little bit too short to reach some of the holds. So.
I did notice that. I find a way.
I'll give you a boost.
You don't need to. I'll give you. It's better when we work together, though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, we will do that. I'm excited to get my fucking backflip.
Yes.
Get my backflip on.
I'm excited to see you do that. Just be careful.
Man, do it with me.
No.
Whatever. Man, this is over. I quit.
I'll go bouldering with you.
Yeah, okay, I quit.
Yeah.
I quit. Man. I'm over. See, this guy doesn't want to share nice moments with me.
Man.
Building skills together that will last a lifetime. A lifetime. Man, once you can backflip, you can tell your kids that you can backflip. You can tell your grandkids that you can backflip. What are you going to tell them? What are you going to tell your grandkids? That you can't backflip? That you could never backflip in your whole life?
Yeah.
They're going to think you're a big fat pussy, brother. You got to learn how to do
At
backflip.
what age do you think you're going to stop backflipping?
Never.
What age do you think you will have to stop?
Let's find out. There's only one way to find out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's by doing it. What is yours going to be? You're going to tell them, oh, I can never do it. I never committed.
I'm okay with that. It's not on my list of goals.
That's okay. Right, moving on. That's
Moving
fine.
on.
Yeah.
So you're looking forward to backflipping?
Yep.
Looking forward to bouldering?
Yep. That's it. What are you looking forward to?
Looking forward to finishing up this assignment.
Yep.
Finishing with exams. And then writing the dissertation. And coaching at Worlds.
Hell yeah.
Most pressing things.
Very good.
Yeah.
Oh, the fucking knee sleeves. I knew there was something.
Yeah. It's no big fucking deal, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, neither of us used them ever.
Yeah.
The context, I'm sure everyone knows and everyone has talked about it. And I didn't see it. I only heard it from people in the gym again because I wasn't on Instagram. But yeah, like the Inzers, the A7, everything is...
I understand the hullabaloo.
Yeah.
And they're expensive, so people bought them. That's the biggest thing. That's actually probably the bigger thing than how it affects your squat.
Yeah, because I actually had 2 lifters who had bought them within the week that came out. And they're what, like 180 € or something?
Oh my god.
So that is the biggest issue.
That's a pain.
Yeah, why did we never use them?
Because you couldn't use them internationally.
Oh shit, yeah.
I even looked into it for a bit. I was like, you know what? I'll get a few extra kilos here.
Yeah.
But then you can't wear them with the SPD kit because the SPD kit is sponsored by SPD.
Yeah. So you got to wear it.
So you got to wear the SPDs, and I understand that.
And I'm sponsored by SPD, so I got to wear
Yeah,
them.
you definitely got to wear them.
Yeah, because I was aware of that for a while, and I was saying it. I was like, bro, SBD's got to catch up and make like a stiff sleeve here.
They did have to. Something had to give.
Yeah, because so okay, I might be giving secret information here that I don't know if I'm supposed to give, but
No, I think people
let's spill the beans. So I was like, here, we need some stiff sleeves because the powerlifting sleeves are nowhere near as stiff as like an A7. And I was seeing people with like the Inzer in the A7, and I was like, fuck, like I kind of want to use them. They look good. And then I heard through the grapevine, and again, I don't know if this is true, that SBD had a prototype of a stiff sleeve like that, but the material was not approved. Like it was not material that you're allowed to use, but it was the material that everyone else was using. So from what I heard, it was either going to be the IPF changed the rule of what was going to be allowed to be used, or they ban everyone else. And I was like, surely they're not going to ban everyone else. They fucking ban everyone else. They fucking ban them. Now, I don't know what went on that they were allowed to get approved in the first place, and then retrospectively they got changed. Okay. Now this is where it goes like full conspiracy. I did hear that there was someone, say like on the board, who was like affiliated with one of the companies that maybe got it like pushed through initially. And obviously there's been a shake up with people at the top, like the people who are running the show. So maybe something has come from that. Or otherwise I'm just like, again, I could be totally making that up and that's not true whatsoever. But yeah, they're changing the rules, baby. No more of those stiff sleeves.
Yeah.
And people are sweating. Having to go back to this. Man, I've had so many people hitting me up being like, do you have like any SPD sleeves? Like, do you
What nations were allowed to wear the stiff sleeves with their SPD kit?
I think people were just doing it and taking the hit, and SPD wasn't happy about it.
Okay.
I know there was a situation with Kali, a Swedish guy, who wore sleeves that were not like approved, and I think there was an issue about that because he won Worlds that year, and they weren't super keen on that, to my knowledge. Again, I suppose if you're like SPD and you're sponsoring teams and giving away like thousands of euro of kit, like you.
Actually, I would say that amounts to so much money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would want people wearing your stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, SPD they've got their way. I'd say their sales are going out the wazoo, man.
Yeah,
out the wazoo.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, people ask me if I have like a discount code for SPD and stuff as well, which I don't, unfortunately. Might get onto them now.
Yeah, those sleeves I never tried them, so I actually can't say it with confidence based on my experience, but there's no way they're comparable to the SPD sleeves.
No, they
just weren't.
Yeah. They're so different. You see people like putting like a fucking 10 kilo plate on them and they're holding up.
Yeah.
I'd say if you put fucking 3 kilos on the SPD, it's keeling over like. So yeah, that was something interesting that happened. See, one of the things that had me was like, you look at Sheffield, so many of them are like, it's SPD fucking event. Everyone's setting world records in the SPDs. So like, can't be that big of a deal. Just get stronger. That was always my kind of philosophy. Like I'm sure the sleeves do add something, but like just get stronger kind of type situation. So I'm sure there'll be like everyone's like, oh my god, it feels so weird in the beginning as they're getting used to
give it a year.
The SPDs, but like you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Does suck about the money though. People who have bought
that's the biggest thing.
The A7 and now they have to buy, because I think the SPD ones are.
I forgot that they now have to buy new ones as well if they don't already have them.
Yeah.
Like.
Which a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that sucks. Yeah, it sucks for them. Yeah. Great for SPD though.
Yeah. Great for SPD.
Anything else? I feel like there was probably something else. Did you say there was something?
World's qualifying total.
Oh yeah, bring that up. Give context.
I don't have the full context. I just seen a small clip and, I don't know too much about it. Barnstein was talking from his high chair that world.
Wait. What do you mean by that?
It's like when you're the strongest person in the world, you can say anything about qualifying.
I thought you were saying like a high chair, like a baby high chair. Victim weight. Anyway, I'm kidding. Man, he out-tolls me by like fucking 200 keys.
Yeah, but he's not cock climbing like you, bro.
He can definitely do a backflip as well, motherfucker.
Probably. But he
no offense to Big.
Big?
Why'd you double down, man? I was extending an olive branch.
Might as well. Yeah, we need to take him down a notch. So strong. But, keep going. He was talking on a podcast, and he had a discussion with his peers or whatever, and they were saying two things. I think that the US should be able to send more people so long as they're within a certain % of the world record total. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
The qualifying total for Worlds would mean because he said that the person in 8th at PA Nats would have
placed like
would have placed like
8th.
8th, or more or something at Worlds.
Is that grounds for them to have 8 people going?
Definitely not have 8 people going. I think that's the grounds he used for saying that the people totaling like 500 kilos
shouldn't be there. Yeah.
I don't know how concrete I feel on that, because like I get it from a competition point of view, but it's like that's why you have prime time.
True.
It's like you have prime time for the top 8 people, and that's just how it is.
That's what matters.
And then the rest is like representation of countries, which is the other half of Worlds. Because okay, let's say you cut all them out. That's like say 7 countries that can no longer send people.
Yeah. What do we get?
What do they do? What do you get from countries not sending people?
Yeah, that brings up the whole like idea of we had it in Ireland as well, of like set a QT real high so that people raise themselves to the standard. And I don't know if I believe in that. I don't know. I don't know if I think.
Adam and I went back and forth on this, and JT also was on Adam's side. He was like, no.
It raises
the standard being higher definitely makes people stronger. I thought, and this is my opinion, I'm going to be as strong as I am, whether the people around me.
Yeah, I'm trying to get as strong as possible anyway.
Yeah, I can't try any harder.
Yeah, just because the number that I'm aiming for is that much higher doesn't make me like actually able to do that. And and this is in the context, because I do think there's nuance. This is in the context that I'm already, or I was in a previous situation, already giving everything to get as strong as possible. Yeah. So that's my like default, is trying as hard as possible. So maybe in a context where people are not trying as hard as possible, knowing that the target is a little bit higher, then they try harder. But I think
you kind of refine a few things, a few variables, and it's like, you know what, I could be doing this a little bit better, and I have to now to compete.
Yeah,
I get that.
But I think my general take is like people are trying to get as strong as they can get anyway.
I'll throw another one at you, and it's that when you see things are possible on average, the
4-minute mile type.
You kind of extend your horizon, I guess, and that does help.
Yeah.
But you're playing a battle where you can't actually progress more than if you lock everything in. Yeah. I guess you could argue that like you could still get in your way a lot psychologically if you think, you know.
It's very like context specific.
I think so.
Of like who you're talking to, but I think people who are gonna be at that level anyway are probably trying their hardest to be like as strong as possible. Yeah. So
okay,
I
don't think it's a harm. I think higher qualifying totals and higher standards do only serve as positive. I just don't think it makes everyone stronger. Yeah, it can serve as that.
Yeah. So having a qualifying total for Worlds, interesting idea. Interesting. And like having America able to send more people, interesting, because it is very valid that like the fucking PA Nats is probably more competitive than Worlds. But I think that's probably true for like a lot of sports. I love like the sports documentaries. So the sprint one about like the 100 meter and 200 meter sprints. It's the same thing where like say American nationals to like qualify to go to Worlds and the Olympics and whatever is generally like the most hotly contested one, or like the Jamaican nationals is one of the most like hotly contested events. So like I don't think it's grounds for like, okay, send 5 Americans. I think it probably just stays that way, and whoever the best in America goes to be the best, and they can have like 2 people in their weight class or whatever. I wouldn't see that changing. I think it just makes Worlds probably less of a spectacle again. Yeah, makes it even less of a spectacle if it's like, okay, here's the top 5 and they're all American. Yeah. Like we know that anyway. Yeah, we know that. Yeah. So yeah. This is coming from the perspective of someone who's not American. So yeah. And then a qualifying total. Again, that's why we have like that primetime division, the top 8. Like I was looking at my class. I think there's like 48 people like in the 105s going to World Championships. Maybe I'm making that up, but I'm pretty sure the number was like 30 or 40. Wow. 48 is actually definitely too high. Maybe 38 or 40. Okay. So like, yeah, like the people in the bottom position, obviously they're not competitive, but who's watching the B flight? Who's watching the B flight award? Obviously, like people are watching, but like it's not the. I think it's not the spectacle. Like, to make it a spectacle competition. It's like, you have the spectacle. Yeah. The spectacle is there already. Yeah. I think what is more beneficial, and this kind of brings back to the QT, is like having people in the environment. I think that's more motivating to work harder, rather than the QT being higher and you never make it to this thing and it kind of seems out of reach and unattainable, and the QT is higher, so I've got to like work harder. I think getting a taste of like competing at a World Championships and being lower in the ranks you get exposed to that environment, and that's probably more of an incentive to work harder. And you're getting more people like having skill or exposure or experience on a big platform like that, a big stage like that. I think that's probably more beneficial for the sport to like spur people on to strive for more. But then I do also see the side where it's like, okay, Worlds is meant to be this like super elite thing. So like, why are we letting in people who are totaling 600 in the 105s? I don't know if that's actually happening. Well, I can see both sides. Yeah.
I can see both sides.
Interesting. It's interesting. I don't think it will happen. I don't foresee it happening. I think it's probably worse off, and it's probably worse off for the federation to lower the numbers of people competing.
Probably.
So I don't think from like a businessy perspective that they would want to do that, like the IPF.
Yeah, I think prime time is the biggest answer to this.
Yeah.
But I assume more conversation will come of it.
Yeah.
Because it's
Maybe.
been brought up now, and other podcasters will talk about it and say those two Andrews don't know what they're talking about. Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe.
Probably.
Maybe. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I'm just fucking talking, brother.
Yeah.
I'm talking.
Yeah, I'm just chatting here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Right. Anything else pressing on your mind?
I'll press on your mind.
Anything else
pressing on your mind?
Me? No. I got nothing on my mind, man.
Never is.
Yeah.
I'm just
floating,
monkeys
man.
clapping
Yeah.
cymbals because
Clapping some.
monkeys clapping something.
I don't just know.
You're sweating.
Yeah. Man, it's the pre.
It is the pre.
It's the pre.
Are you training?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, after this.
Nice.
Go straight to the gym.
Sweet.
Straight to the gym. Yeah, still train 6 days a week. It's fun.
Nice.
Still main training.
Main training?
A good.
That's
yeah,
pretty cool.
actually, I'm main training. Fuck. Yeah, maintained a good bit of strength.
Yeah.
Pressed 170 a few times over the last few weeks.
Nice.
Have a squad 240. That's heaviest I've gone. And then pulled 280, 290, something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, so like numbers are still fine.
Yeah,
But taking it very easy. Like my back offs have been like 120 on squat. And then just like 170 on deads. Just like super, super easy stuff.
Accessories?
Pushing accessories hard though.
Yeah.
Which is very fun.
What do your lower
Getting
body
good.
accessories look like?
They got a 45-degree hip extension in my gym,
Cool.
which I wanted for ages. So enjoying that. The first day I did it, I had DOMs for like 7 days afterwards.
Definitely,
Yeah. So that was very fun.
Do it heavy?
Like 2 plates. So not that heavy. I've seen some people like doing like 7 plates on that.
Yeah.
Like James Adcock.
Yeah.
Doing like 7 plates. I'm like, bro,
Man.
big ass on him.
Fucking James.
Man, I wonder
Adcock,
what
man.
Nathan can do.
Fucking Irish
Man, with his
motherfucker.
massive ass.
James
man.
Adcock is Irish, man.
Yeah, no, he is. He's more
Fucking
Irish than me.
yeah.
And he actually looks more Irish
He
than me. I'm
actually
pissed, man.
dead on Irish,
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Fuck him, man.
Man, this is for you, James.
Yeah.
I'm clipping this and sending
I'm
it to you.
clipping this and sending it to
Yeah. Anyway, and then
Yeah.
Nathan. Man, Nathan.
Big booty
Yeah,
Nathan.
man, big booty Nathan's crazy. And Nathaniel.
And Nathaniel.
Man, I need my ass like that. That's why I'm doing them.
You need your ass like that.
Yeah. Man, I'm chasing an ass like that.
You're
Yeah. In 2 senses. Anyway.
So wait, what were we even talking about before that?
Accessories? Yeah, so
Accessories.
anyway, doing that, doing some leg press. Doing some leg extensions, some hamstring curl.
Plate loaded leg press.
Yeah.
Could you-
It's called like a squat press.
Oh,
Yeah, it's a nice one. It is
That
a nice
one,
one in the
yeah,
gym.
yeah.
My gym has a mad accessory,
Yeah, it does.
which
It
is very good. I enjoy
It
that.
does.
Then like adductor.
It honestly, I was actually joking, trying to come up with like a funny machine that you guys should have.
Yeah.
You guys could
Have.
have the grip thing.
Oh yeah, and it
Yeah.
would probably fit in because there's so much.
It would probably fit.
Crazy.
You know the thing where you like grip and you squeeze
Yeah.
your hand together with plate loaded?
Yeah.
I would like to try that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Adductor machine, yeah. You were saying you're doing
Adductor.
it.
Good girl, bad girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, enjoying that.
What girl?
Huh? That's the name of. Oh, good boy, bad boy.
Yeah.
Whatever you want, brother.
No, it's whatever you identify as.
Oh, yeah, I don't fucking discriminate. I don't even see gender, bro.
Why'd you say it?
Huh? Because that's just the name, brother. As if you haven't heard that before.
I have.
Mark, you've heard it. I know. I don't even have to ask you.
You shake his head. He said no.
Yeah, doing that. What does your training look like?
Just training. wait. Leg press, first of all, plate
Yeah.
loaded leg press.
Yeah.
Could you be fucked putting all those plates on?
I know. People
Squat
be,
press is a little bit different, I think.
Man, people be hitting like fucking 9 plates
Yeah.
aside.
It's like, come on,
Effort.
what are you flexing?
But like the fucking thing that you load the plates onto. I don't want to call it a peg.
Pin?
Yeah, that you load the plates onto.
Why do you want to call it a peg?
Because you're gonna be weird about it, man.
I'd love you no matter what.
Shut the fuck up. Anyway, so the thing, you barely have to move them. You just like take it off here and then you put it there.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so that's very fun. But yeah, you're saying, okay, you've fucking removed your biases and you're doing whatever. Like you.
Oh, glute ham raise.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
fucking that machine.
GHD.
Like a similar to a 45-degree hip
Yeah.
extension. It's not, man.
No. It's
When
not.
you actually
It's
think
back.
about where you're loading,
Yeah.
it's in the weakest position.
Yeah.
You are most horizontal to the floor.
Yeah.
And hence,
Yeah.
that's the most difficult. And then the most stretched position, there's no load.
Yeah.
Other than like you being pulled to the floor.
Yeah.
If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, look at like a GHR from the side.
Yeah. You're not a fan? Or you are a fan?
No, it's just like, why? Like,
Yeah.
Okay, you know what you could do? You could do like a Nordic curl on it.
True.
And
yeah,
then
the full.
in the stretch.
Come up the full way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a actually flexing at the knee, but flexing at the or extending at the hip. I don't think it's good.
It's just a back extension, kind of.
It is, but it's like you're only loading it in your most contracted position. Then when you're stretched, there's like no load.
True.
I
True.
remember trying to do it as a replacement of a 45-degree.
And it's not the same.
Shit,
Yeah, it's not the same.
I would like to see a 45-degree hip extension.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we got a belt squat.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah. Started doing that. It's fun. It's nice. I don't know what I expected.
Yeah.
But the way I describe it to people is that it doesn't feel like a leg press or anything like that. It feels like a squat. Just loaded.
Yeah.
Not on your shoulders.
There's no fucking, what's it called, axial loading.
Yeah.
It's huge one.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
like it really feels like a squat. You expect it to just be like leg
Yeah.
pressy. No.
Yeah.
It's like a squat.
Hmm.
You really like I have to like, play. It's still like
Yeah.
it's almost like your center of mass is still in the same place.
Yeah.
And so you do have to like kind of tip
You'll
forward.
be,
and go
you'll be
between your
growing
legs.
those shanks, brother.
Ground these shanks. What's a
Yeah.
shank?
Fucking legs.
That was a knife.
Oh. Yeah, no, it is that as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll be growing the pins.
Pins, pegs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Is that it?
I think so. How long have we been recording?
Probably an hour
I don't wanna
40 or
leave
something.
here.
Maybe like an hour 40, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually don't want to leave here. Mark,
wanna
I'm
leave
setting
here.
up camp.
Yeah, I set up camp here too.
Yeah. This will be good. This will be exciting. I think we'll make ourselves at home here nicely.
Hell yeah. We're going to be recording straight after this for our second channel.
Yeah, the lights are going to change colour.
The lights go pink.
Yeah, and the overhead light goes dim.
Oh,
Oh!
you see how it is.
He's on the ball,
He
brother.
is
He's
on the ball. You're going to be on the ball now in a second.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Bosu ball. Bosu ball
No,
missionary.
we're lean now, bro.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no more cushion for the pushing.
68.
Yeah. Ooh, come on now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This has been an absolute degenerate episode.
I've enjoyed this.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it very
Yeah.
much as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love if people sent us in some topics for us to cover.
Man, we have had ideas of what we're going to do, but we just are not recording enough to do them.
Okay, well, we will.
Yeah. Okay. When are we let's book it in now.
Book it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also want to put up a box on Instagram.
Yeah.
And
We
have
can do
people-
that again. Yeah, we used
What
to
topics you
ask a lot of questions, do a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
Q&As and stuff.
Yeah. Some pressing topic you want us to discuss.
Yeah. Yeah.
Funny topic that you think would be funny for us to discuss.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah, we've been going too long between them, and then we're like, okay, we'll just catch up because it's been too long.
Yeah.
So more frequent,
Hell yeah.
and then we can start fucking hammering out some good ideas, some useful content instead of
Give you
cock
the
and ball torture.
You're going to be a nail, man.
Oh, I'm sick of
Getting
this.
hammered.
I'm sick of this,
Yeah,
man.
sick of all the talk. You just want action.
A little less conversation, a little more action, please. Yeah. Shout out to my boy Elvis Presley.
Was he a cocaine addict or no?
Did he die in the toilet eating a hamburger or something? I don't know if the hamburger bit is true, but that's,
Either way.
I think he did die in the toilet. Man, why are you trying to out my boy Elvis
Have
like
to
that?
die somewhere.
Man, oh, why you? That's kind of fucked up. Where do you want to die? What? I'm glad that was on you. I'm glad that fucking shot was on you. That's
I
crazy.
need to get used to the fact that the camera is over here looking
Yeah.
at me. So I keep looking at myself
Yeah.
in the TV.
Yeah.
I need to look at the camera.
Man, when do you think you're gonna
Jesus Christ. When I'm ready.
die? Whoa! What the hell? Yeah. Oh man, we have to do that 36 fucking questions.
Oh.
We'll do that. Will we do that as the next episode?
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's do it.
let's do that. I like that. Spit shake.
Spit on it and shake it.
On that note, I reckon that's a good place to leave
I
it.
agree.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you, Mark, for letting us use this amazing studio. I think that is a wrap.
It is a wrap. Goodbye.